Hi, I'm Tom, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 easy projects to make using air dry clay. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe to Hobbycraft and click the bell icon to be notified of future videos. You will need air dry clay, non-stick clay rolling pin, natural craft sticks, modelling tool kit, and metal cutters. It's also useful to have a few extra household items around to help with some of the moulding and shaping. This can include a chopping board or cutting mat, a wire rack, a small airtight pot for keeping slip in, cocktail sticks or skewers to help make holes in the clay, cups, glasses, mugs, or anything round to help you cut a perfect circle, and some sandpaper to help create a perfect finish. Knead the clay in your hands to make it more malleable. Roll out some clay to around 5mm in depth. You can tape together craft sticks as a guide for depth. Take a circular object, such as a mug or a glass, and cut the clay around this. Use water or slip to smooth and round off any rough edges. Use the metal moon cutter and cut out a moon shape from your excess clay. You can refine the shape into more of a crescent by using the edge of the cutter to take out some of the shape you just made. Then you can score and slip the back of it to attach it onto your circular base. Roll out a small ball of clay that will act as the main support for your incense stick. Score and slip the base of the ball and stick it next to your moon shape on the circular base. You can use an incense stick or another pointed object to poke a hole into the ball shape. Just remember that the clay will shrink slightly when dry, so make the hole a little wider than your incense. Don't poke a hole all the way through the clay at this point, just enough so that the stick can be held upright. To raise the edges of the base, cover the bottom of a small bowl or another rounded object with cling film. Place your clay base into the bowl and depress the middle so that it sits lower than the edges. Leave this to dry for a few hours until it can retain its shape, then remove it by loosening the cling film and gently pulling the base away. Let it dry on its own for 24 to 48 hours. Once the incense holder is completely dry, you can lightly sand down any rough edges with sandpaper. Roll out some clay to around 5mm in depth. Use the spatula to cut a strip approximately 3 to 4 cm wide. It can be as long as you want at this stage. Place the small heart cutter roughly in the centre of the rectangle and press out a heart shape. If the edges of the hole look rough or uneven, you can smooth them down with your finger and some water or slip. Once you've cut your heart shape or whatever pattern you'd like, wrap the strip around a circular object in order to make a tube shape. Cut the excess clay so there is a slight overlap and carefully remove it. Once removed, use water or slip to smooth down the overlapping edges until they're completely joined. Try to keep the thickness of the clay even. You may need to use a spatula to cut any excess off the top or the bottom. Leave the clay to dry for 24 to 48 hours. Once it's dry and you can no longer see any dark patches of wet clay, you can lightly sand the edges and surface to remove any lumps, bumps or roughness. Start by rolling out a long strip of clay, making sure it's not too thin and flimsy, ideally no less than ½ centimeter in thickness. Use a spatula to cut a strip around 3 to 4 centimeters wide. It can be as long as you want at this stage. Wrap the strip around your candle to know what length the strip needs to be. Remember that air dry clay shrinks slightly when it dries, so make sure that you make this a little bit longer than the circumference of your candle. Score and slip the adjoining edges and gently press them together. Use lots of water or slip to smooth the join and make it as seamless as possible. Score and slip the base of the tube you have just created to join it on the circular base. Gently press it down until it's secure. You can use your moulding tools to smooth out the join between the two pieces. Once you're happy with the shape, you can embellish your candle holder with a small shape using the cutters. Stick this shape by scoring the back and using lots of water or slip. Allow this to dry for 24 to 48 hours. Once it's dry and there are no dark patches showing, you can use sandpaper to lightly smooth down any rough edges or surfaces. Shake off any dust and your candle holder is complete. You will need air dry clay, non-stick clay rolling pin, natural craft sticks, modelling toolkit, metal cutters, some flat brushes, and Pebeo acrylic paints in pine green, white, fuchsia and copper pearl. Take a lump of clay and start to roll this in your hands. This will be the main part of your cactus. Roll it to the maximum thickness that you want your cactus to be, then roll it into a cone shape by rolling one end into a point. Use your flat surface to ensure you have a flat base. In a similar way, roll out two slightly smaller arms. Gently curve each one of these upwards to create a good shape for hanging jewellery from. When you're happy with the shape and the size of the arms, score and slip the bottom of each and gently press them against the main cactus body. You will probably find that you need a lot of slip in order for the shapes to stick together when standing upright. Use moulding tools to help smooth out the joins. To complete your cactus, cut a small flower using the cutter provided. Score and slip the bottom of the flower and stick it to the top of the main cactus body. You can add as many as you like. Roll out some clay to around 5mm in depth. You can tape together craft sticks as a guide for depth. Take a circular object, such as a mug or a glass, and cut the clay around this. Use water or slip to smooth and round off any rough edges. To create a raised edge for your base, roll a long, thin sausage shape from clay. Score and slip the edges of the circle, as well as the bottom of the long roll of clay. Gently press the roll along the edge of the circle and cut off any excesses. You'll need to use lots of slip or water to smooth the two pieces together and create a seamless rim around the edge of the base. When you're happy with the base, score a portion in the centre where your cactus will sit. Add slip to both pieces and press firmly and smooth the pieces together for a strong join. Allow this to dry for 24 to 48 hours. Once it's completely dry, sand down any rough edges or surfaces using sandpaper. Shake off any excess clay dust. You can paint your cactus using any acrylic paint. Start by adding blocks of colour and add decorations once your base layer is dry. Combine matte, gloss and metallic colours to create a jewellery holder in colours that suit you. Once your paint is dry, your cactus jewellery stand is ready to use. You will need air dry clay, non-stick clay rolling pin, natural craft sticks, modelling toolkit, metal cutters, some flat brushes, some Pebeo acrylic paint in chick yellow and light yellow, and some Mod Podge gloss. Roll out a large thick layer of clay. Using a glass or another circular object as a guide, cut out a circle shape. Make sure the circle is large enough for your spoon. To create the edge of the spoon holder, roll out a long sausage shape from some of the remaining clay. It will need to be long enough to wrap around the edge of your circle. Make sure you cut it a little larger so you can use it to create a lip in the holder later. Score and slip both the edges of the circle and the bottom of the roll that you will use for the circle edge. Then gently push the two pieces together until they feel secure. Create a lip by pushing down the circle base with the spatula and pulling the clay into a point. Flatten the outer edge into the lip with your finger or spatula until it's smooth and even. Use extra clay and water or slip to smooth the two pieces together. This will help strengthen the bond between the base and the edge. Smooth the outside of the shapes in the same way and help bond everything together and create a smooth, seamless finish. To decorate the spoon holder, roll out a thin layer of clay and use the cutters to draw out a few shapes. For this, we're using the teardrop shape. Score and slip any shapes and arrange them on the base. You can use your spatula to create a relief shape in the centre of your holder. Just make sure you don't cut all the way through. Leave this for 24 to 48 hours. You may need to turn this upside down during drying. Once it's completely dry, you can use regular acrylic paints to add a splash of colour. Air dry clay isn't waterproof, so you'll need to add a water resistant top coat using a sealer such as Mod Podge. This will also give your design a glossy finish. Your spoon rest is then ready to use. Make sure when cleaning the spoon rest that it's wipe cleaned only. So there you have it, 5 easy projects to make using air dry clay. Go to hobbycraft.co.uk to book a workshop, fund your next craft project, or learn a new skill. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and we'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. Join us soon for more videos.